Hey, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel. Today is Thursday, which means it's Let's Get Messy May. And every Thursday in the month of May, I have decided to get messy and play in my junk journal. So these were the first two that I did. This is the third Thursday. And I decided to use this sheet, which is the inside of a large mailing envelope. I love using envelopes because they always have that really fun, usually pretty subtle black and white print. Now I've seen some in blue, seen some in red, but I think the majority are black and white, which I love. So I like the hole in there as well too. So what I did is I slipped in a piece of scrap paper and I'm going to clip it down. So basically I'm blocking the blank pages behind this one journal page that I'm using. So that way I'm getting medium within that hole, but also on a scrap piece of paper so I can use it for something else. If you follow my channel, then you know, or if you subscribe to my channel, then you know that I don't like to waste medium. So if I'm not using it on the particular page or the spread, I usually try to use the excess in either just empty pages, sheets outside of the journal, or I'll put it inside the journal somehow. But basically what I did here is I just grabbed some different acrylic paints and I'm just putting kind of blobs of color. Now my hope is to make a floral page. Just basically this entire page is going to be floral. And when I say floral, I mean very abstract, very anybody could do it kind of floral. I'm not going to be drawing any specific kind of flower. A lot of them are probably going to be a little bit made up, maybe even a little abstracty. But I guess the main thing is that I'm just going to be making a floral type image and using a lot of imagination. So I went through with some, pinks and yellows, kind of your basic flower colors. And then I have these blues, which may or may not really be actually from a floral that's from nature, but we're going to make it work. Obviously the green is for leaves, and I just really love all these colors. So I am using a little bit of water with some of it, and that's just to kind of spread the colors out a little bit more. So once it dries, I put some archival ink onto this postcard stamp, and really for no other reason than just a little bit of extra dimension. So there's like these little lines, the word postcard. Well, actually the word postcard got stamped in that little hole, which isn't going to be shown on this particular spread. And that's why I decided to do it up on that top left as well. But once I do that, and again, I had to make sure that all the paint was dried before using a pen. And this is just a regular old Bic pen. I'm not even sure if it's Bic, and I'll put all the information, the basic supplies in the information box. And again, for Let's Get Messy May, I did decide to do this series just for the month of May 2024, and I'm doing a new project every Thursday, and there are 5 Thursdays this month of May. Now, again, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm drawing some squiggly lines. I'm drawing some basic daisies. Now, these little things that I'm doing right now are supposed to be roses, but if you notice, they're very triangular or very squared and not circular. I'm not even sure why I started drawing them that way, but I did the first one that way, so I decided to do the rest of them that way. I tried to copy the same type of flower depending on the color of the blob. I hope that makes sense. So you notice that they're supposed to be like little roses are really kind of those peach color. The yellows are daisy, and so you can kind of see what I mean. So again, once I did the pen work, again, I had to let it dry a little bit because it is a fluid ink. And then I went and I got some gelatos out, and I'm just adding some in there and wetting my fingertips. And I'm really kind of doing that more for the shading purpose of it. Now I put the yellow on the yellow. It didn't make much of a difference, but I still kind of like it because, again, it gives a brighter color and a little bit of shading instead of just those one-dimensional color blobs. And here I'm trying to, again, this is a total makeup flower, but on those blue blobs, I did draw with my pen, the black pen, just some circles inside of them, almost like if they were berries or something within the blob. So I'm using that white paint pen to just kind of go over those pen circles. And in my imagination, I'm thinking kind of like a seed ball. Again, totally made up. I don't think there's such a flower, but that's what I'm thinking. And then once I had that white paint pen in, I did decide to try to do little marks here and there. I did end up putting it aside because I felt like the tip had too much color, so I had to kind of clean that off a little bit. I did grab, these are watercolor markers here, and I'm just doing, let's see, I put the pen over on the side a little bit so the lines were a little bit thicker, but I just went over those black lines that I did to make the rose, if you want to call it that, show up a little bit more. And I mentioned earlier that these are watercolor pens, so they blended very easily. And again, I'll use some water on the tip of my finger to kind of blend that out a little bit and smudge it a little bit. But I love the way it's looking so far. Those green portions, there's some that I drew here, the long level of leaves, and then the smaller, kind of more rounder ones, I do actual leaves. And I'm just really kind of just messing around. I did grab this green marker because, again, I didn't want it to be one-dimensional, but I didn't want to color in all the leaf. It was more like for shading, but I like the way this looks. I went ahead and grabbed my black pen later because I didn't do that. I'm not even sure what you call that, swag, not a swag, but like a sprig, I guess. I didn't do it to that one on that lower left, but I will later. This thing that I'm using right now, although it may look like a white paint pen, it's actually a white correction ink. Is that what they call them? Kind of like whiteout, but it's a marker. And I used these before because I just could never get a white pen that worked because I really wanted it to be white. Now I'm going over the pen marks of the daisies, and you can tell that it wasn't solid, but I was really fine with that. I love the way it looked. I'm using a black paint pen for these ones. I'm going to be honest with you. I felt like that black ink pen was just a little too thick when I was doing it, but it is what it is. And a matter of fact, at the end, I absolutely love it. So then I'm just putting some dots here and there with that black. I'm going to be doing some marks with the white, and I'm just kind of like, just mark making, not really circles, but just kind of little ticks, I guess, all the way around it. I'm loving the way this is turning out so far. Again, most of these flowers are nothing you would recognize. Actually, not even most, all of these flowers you would not recognize in a garden, but that's okay because of the colors and the brightness. I think you get the idea of a garden, even though it doesn't really look like an actual flower. But I hope you do like this. If you've been following along, it is, like I said, the third Thursday, so I have 2 more for this month. I just decided to create this series called Let's Get Messy May, and gave me an excuse to go into my junk journal and actually started playing in here, which, not that I need an excuse, but for whatever reason, it's just been sitting there. I put it together and it just sat there. So now this will be my 3rd entry, or my 3rd completed art spread in this journal. I'm really excited about it. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so you'll be notified of any future posts. But also, just so you know, I do post 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking because that really is my first love. And then the second is whatever it is I'm creating in the command center. The command center is the name of my craft room and also my blog. So I'm using some Dina Wakley white kind of paint. I don't know what's going on with my nozzle. It's clogged up. So I just took the tube out and splattered it all over. I love the white splatters because these are legit white splatters. They don't absorb the other colors. And as you can see, this is just the inside of an envelope. Perfect for a junk journal. And now I'm done. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you decide to subscribe.